Welcome to another episode of the 5-Minute Money Manager. Last week I noted that over 90% of people don't achieve their goals. But why? Well, here are, in no particular order, 9 reasons why we don't achieve our goals. Fear of failure. The American Psychological Association defines the fear of failure as, quote, persistent and irrational anxiety about failing to measure up to the standards and goals set by oneself or others. Fear of failure may be associated with perfectionism and is implicated in a number of psychological disorders, including eating disorders and some anxiety disorders, end quote. This fear of not succeeding causes some people to avoid even starting a goal or not doing much after they've started. Procrastination. Some of us just don't seem to be able to get started, or we get started but always manage to put things off to a later time. The why do today what you can do tomorrow personality greatly hinders the accomplishment of goals. Too many goals. Nothing discourages our efforts like having too many projects going on at once. The feelings of being overwhelmed will almost certainly lead to failure to accomplish most, if not all, of those goals. That is why I suggest working on only one major goal at a time. When you succeed, you can always begin a new goal. Lack of confidence. Accomplishing a goal is hard work. If we have serious doubts about our ability to succeed, we will generally fail because we knew from the start that we couldn't do it. Without genuine confidence, our actions and behaviors often produce the proverbial self-fulfilling prophecy. Unrealistic goals. Many of us set goals that just aren't achievable, like becoming an NFL quarterback at age 70, or we set goals that are not achievable in the time frame we've allocated. For example, there's nothing wrong with a goal to lose 30 pounds, unless, of course, it is 30 pounds in 2 weeks. Perfectionism. Many of us want everything to work out perfectly, which rarely happens in life. We often spend too much energy on minor details. In one of the college classes I taught, I would ask students to make a list of the most important traits they wanted in a spouse. During the class discussion, some students were asked to share their lists. Many of those lists were quite long. One student, for example, stated that her potential spouse couldn't throw his socks on the floor. Really, I thought? Throwing socks on the floor was just as important as being a good listener. Many of my students created perfect spouses, but spouses that did not exist in reality. Poor time management. When we are setting goals, we often misjudge the amount of time necessary to accomplish the goal, and therefore don't spend enough time working on the goal. Or we have so many other things going on that we can't properly allocate the time we need. Goals not clearly defined. While some fail because of perfectionism, others fail because they don't specify their goals clearly enough. Too often our goals are ambiguous. Nothing wrong, for example, with wanting employment that pays well, but what does pays well mean? What criteria will you use to determine this? Are you going to include salary, life insurance, health benefits, personal days, holidays, and vacation time in your calculation? Well-defined goals are very specific in describing the what, when, where, and how much. Lack of resources. We may have well-defined goals, but not have the resources to accomplish them. For example, the goal to work out at the gym for 30 minutes 3 times a week is not unrealistic, unless, of course, you can't afford a gym membership or you don't have a way to get to the gym. What are your reasons for not accomplishing your goals? Thanks for listening, and have a great day.